Lesson number 5. Guess what? You've now gone through 4 lessons. You can actually say you just finished your freshman year. You're now sophomores. By the way, you think if you went to one of those expensive film schools with all that theory and you spent $20,000, you'd know as much as you know now? You'd be that focused, so let's get real. And by the way, those of you, once again, and I know some of you out there and some of you in the room are kicking an attitude, you know, those that can do and those that can't teach. You know, if this teacher knows so much, why doesn't he do it? It's real simple, because I'm a teacher. I don't know where such disrespect came from being a teacher, but I'm proud of being a teacher. I work hard at being a teacher, and I work to the point that I believe I'm a great teacher. And I believe what I said before, 4 lessons ago, I'm now delivering on the information. You know, saying those that can do and those that can't teach. It's the truth. And I'm not making pretexts that I'm a great producer or I'm a great director. But I've done it. I wrote the checks. I've read 3,000 screenplays. I've been a development exec. I've done foreign sales. I know the contracts. I know how to enforce contracts. I know how to go to court, and I know how to collect. And by the way, the real saying is those that can do, and those that can't teach, and those that can't teach consult. Consultants only have a half hour of information that they're going to try to milk out for 2 months, where a teacher actually has 2 months of information that he's got to condense in a powerful thing. So let's get back to, I work hard at being the great teacher. You've just finished your freshman year. I think you're real grounded. Let's get into the sophomore year. You want to make your first feature film? Let me teach you how to direct. Lesson number 5, directing, and here's what I'm doing, directing your first feature film. I'm not Spielberg, Lucas, Coppola, Scorsese up there on a panel on TV, on Sundance Channel, Independent Film Channel, talking about how I'm approaching my next project. That does you no good, hearing them talking about their next project and how they're approaching directing. All you want to know from Spielberg, Lucas, Scorsese, and the rest of them is how'd you make your first project? How'd you direct your first project when you didn't know what you're doing, you had an incompetent crew, they were very energetic and enthusiastic, you had little to no money, you're running out of film, and actors kept wanting to do a second and third take. And how'd you get that one done? And by the way, if you ever saw some of the first films that these guys made right after film school, you'd go, you're better. I believe the information you got right now, each one of you are better than Spielberg, Lucas, Tarantino, and the rest of them doing their first film. Not feature film, if you would have done a short. The only short that I ever saw anybody make at film school that got people jobs was Bob Zemeckis. When I saw his short, when he graduated film school, I go, that's amazing. How'd this kid know something? The rest of them had to make a couple more things. You got an amazing amount of information now. Now let me get some more to you. Let me teach you lesson number 5, how to direct your first feature film. I'm not talking about theory, your second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I'm not talking about when you get a studio feature film budget and you got all that time and location scouting and rehearsal, how to get your first feature film. Because guess what you guys are about to approach? Directing your first feature film. So here's breaking down directing. To me, it comes down to 4 things. 1, directing actors. 2, directing post-production. 3, directing the shoot. 4, directing the camera. Those are the 4 things. So 1, directing acting. Without a question of a doubt, the most important thing after the script, and of course money, is the actor. Picking the right actor. Picking an actor who is an actor. Not somebody who's taken a couple of classes, talks loud, slow, fast, or whatever. An actor who is an actor, and when you give them direction, they do it. Not somebody that looks good. Not somebody that has a 38 triple D set or a tight butt. Picking actors is so important. What I'm getting you down to, casting, is so important. And you first-timers usually think of the casting session as some fashion show or modeling parade. So let me teach you how to pick the right actors, casting, because you are going to eventually totally be dependent upon them, and they are super important. The casting show, picking actors. Directing actors, picking the right ones. Here's the first thing you got to know about actors. They're all totally neurotic. Every one of them. They're totally insecure. They always need validation. Is this right, that right? They're not neurotic people. I did not say they're a neurotic person. I said the actor in their craft is neurotic, not the person as the individual that you just met last night at a bar or a social situation. When are you going to meet the actor for the first time? You know when you're going to meet him? In a casting session. When that cattle call is out there, you got your 18 parts, and they each have 7 to 8 minutes with you, and they're on a job interview. Each of you at one time in your life have been on a job interview. Remember how you felt? Never mind the film industry, just getting a job. Remember how you felt for those 5 or 7 minutes when you're sitting in front of a desk where somebody's sitting behind the desk who you probably never socialized with in the real life? You were willing to say anything you think that person wanted to hear to get the job. I call that being neurotic. So you producers who are now directors, who are about to cast your actors, each one of them is going to have 7 to 10 minutes in front of you, and each one of them wants the job, and each one of them during those 7 to 10 minutes is a little insecure. So how are you going to get a good reading in the casting session? So let's handle it now, and let's stop thinking as a fashion parade or a modeling show. And now that you understand about actors. So first off, getting the word out. How are you going to get the word out? There's a newspaper for actors, Backstage West. There's a newspaper sort of in New York for actors. All you have to do is get a little ad in the back saying, feature film being shot, opening title credits, pay. That means not free, not deferred. You just take your phone off the hook. Don't you dare give them your house address or office address. You will be inundated with headshots. You will find out, another thing you'll do is get enlisted in a thing that's called breakdown services. Breakdown services is something that agents and casting directors subscribe to. If I'm an agent, how do I know the 20 commercials being shot today or next week, the 3 TV shows that are casting, and the 1 feature film? Casting not for parts 1, 2, or 3, parts 4 through 28. What I do is I subscribe to this company. I pay them $50 to $75 a week, and I get the breakdowns of what's casting tomorrow. And when I get the breakdowns, which usually comes faxed to me, when I get the 10 sheets and the 50 part, and this one part says an IBM commercial casting female, 25 to 30, blonde, blue eyes, must be able to roller skate. Then if I'm the agent, I just look in my stable of actors to see who fits that, and I'd say, go on over. Well, you as the producer, call up breakdown services, send your script over. They do it for free. They'll break it down, and you let them know what day the casting's being done, and they'll send the information out to all the agents, all the casting directors that handle talent. So you get the ad in the newspaper, Backstage West. You get listed in breakdown services, feature film being shot, opening title credits. Then the next thing you got to know about actors is they love to help each other. Actors love to help each other. One caveat, as long as you don't look like me. That's all. I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help you, I'll help you. You know, we could both be up for the sleazy Jewish dentist who sleeps with the patients. And I'm not helping him to get my part. So how do you get the word out to actors to do casting? Get the ads in the little newspapers. Starts word spreading around. All actors tell each other. Get a little postings in a couple acting classes. They'll start telling each other. There's a feature film they're casting and an opening title credits, and they're paying. Get listed in breakdown services. That gets everybody. You'll get 2,000 to 5,000 headshots in a 3-week period if you just put a P.O. box. Now, how are you going to be efficient? How are you going to cast? Book a room, a casting room. It's just a little room. It's barren, at the most 500 square feet for 2 days. You'll probably hire a casting director just to help you with efficiency. Pay that person maybe $500 a day. Now, you've got the breakdown, you've got the 18 parts you're casting for, you've got 1,000 headshots. The casting director will help you in efficiency and set up about at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, it's this part. Here are the 10 actors. Then 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, here's this part. 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, et cetera, et cetera. And at the most, you have 10 minutes with each person. I really think it's about 7 to 8 minutes. It's what actors call the cattle call. Next, next, next. So this is what you're going to be doing, directors. You're directors. You're going to pick your actors. Don't tell me about names. Names are important. That's deal making. We'll get into that about 6 lessons from now. This is filmmaking right now, picking the actors. So you got the room, and outside of the room, you got 100 actors waiting in line with the thing that they call a 2-page scene that's nicknamed the sides. I've never really found out where this word comes from, the sides, the sides. The closest somebody gave me is that it's like a delicatessen. The script is the full portion. These are just side portions. That made sense. I don't know. I like that, the sides. Anybody else really know where the word came from? Any actors here? Where?
Actually, in theatrical plays, they used to make up the sides, would have just your cue word, and then your dialogue, and that was the sides.
It was called sides?
You never got the full script.
So this guy that told me about a delicatessen, I should shoot him if I ever see him. Okay, thanks. No, that sounds better than what I came up with from this guy. Let's go back. Wait, let's go back to the class, directing. So you've got the room book. It's a hollow room. It'll have a bland table. You'll sit behind the table. You might have a partner with you. You might have the casting director with you. And outside, there are 50, 100 bodies lined up with, each one of them has about 10 other people that looks just like them. I don't know how you cannot not be neurotic. Standing out there for an hour, 2 hours with other people that look like you and their nose is just a little bit nicer. Oh, it's just that nose, whatever. I don't know. So now you go, okay, first. So it is a cattle call, first. And you have your assistant go out and the first person comes in. You're just a human being, director. As soon as they walk in the door, within 2 seconds, you made a judgment call. That's it. You see what they look like. What do you think, it changes? You see what it looks like. Now they'll walk up to you. They'll have their headshot and possibly resume stapled on the back of their headshot. They'll give you a photo which will validate or stretch what you thought of them by other things that you can do. This is all now within 10, 15 seconds. Next thing to do, right now, you know there's pressure in the room. Remember the actors on a job interview right now? How are you going to get a good reading? Give them a fair chance when right now they're uptight, they're nervous. So what I've seen really nice directors do, when I say nice, not nice people, good, true directors, they always take a minute with each person to just schmooze. Gee, I like your hat. Where'd you get your hat? Did you get your hat here?
Hawaii.
In Hawaii? Which island?
Big Island.
The Big Island. I've never been there. I've been mostly, Honolulu. I go to the tourist spots. Gee, I like your shirt. Did you get your shirt on the island?
It was a gift.
It was a gift? Who gave it to you?
My mom.
Oh, that's cool. That's really nice. You got a good... You see, wait, stop. He likes me now. How about the Laker game playing this weekend? I will find anyway, where you're from, headshot, who have you acted with, what acting instructor. I will take a minute with any actor that comes in the cast room just to schmooze. You see them, their body just goes a little loose. A little bit of the pressure's out now. Now, invariably, you guys, the actors, always ask me, the director or producer, what am I looking for in this side and how do you want me to read it? You, as the actor, which, by the way, I should know. But what I found out, if I tell you now, I just killed your creativity. Because you're neurotic, but a little calm, but you want the job. You asked me what I was looking for. If I tell you, you're going to give me a reading, hopefully, to give me that, aren't you? You want the job. I'm going to say, you know what? We'll be here for another 6 to 8 minutes. We'll read it through 3 times. First time, just read it your way. Just read it your way. However you want to do it. And I'd say there's a 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 at the worst shot, that when you read it just your way, you come up with a lisp, a gimmick, a body movement that I would have never thought about when I read the script or created the script. But now when I see the actor do it, I go, oh, that's cool. That's an added dimension I didn't think about. Now, if you asked me what I was looking for, which I knew, and told you, you wouldn't have tried that. So the first read-through, I'm going to go, just try it your way. However you want to do it. Do you want me to read for you? I got somebody else to read for it. Read it through your way, any way you feel. A lot of you actors, you know, if some director gives that to you, it's like, oh, this guy, this gal's nice. Not being nice, it's allowing you to act. Now, after you read it through once, directors, here's the only thing you ever tell an actor. That was wonderful. You never say anything else, ever, to an actor except, that was wonderful. I really liked it. And if you didn't like it, you now say, now could you try it this way, please? Or I need you to tone it down. Remember I told you all how to be produced? It took 9 words? I have numerous projects in various stages of development. Now let me teach you how to be directors. It takes about 6 words. I really like that. Now could you try it this way? Do you hear that phrase? Now can you try it this way? You're giving direction. Nobody can teach you what to say right now. It's your opinion. It's your uniqueness. Those are the words. It's not rocket science. Now could you try it this way? Now they read it through their second time. What if they read it through, they look right for the part, they read well for the part, and they're creative? Do you cast them now? You're scared because they could be what I call a talker who thinks they're an actor. I want to make sure it's an actor. It could be a person that's done the right thing, they got their SAG card, they're taking the right classes, but they're just talking fast or talking slow or talking loud or talking low. Now they think they're acting, but I don't see the performance. But I'm not going to tell them it's not there because I want to keep them happy and content and trying again. So let's say the actor comes in, they look right for the part, they give me their headshot, they look also even better for the part, and they're creative. Now, on the second read-through, I tell them, now I give them some sort of direction. This is the litmus test that you must do. Now can you try it this way, please? Now you give them, and each of you come up with something different, some sort of direction. And let's see if they deliver on it. And now you find out if they can act. You know they're creative, you know they look right. Maybe they came in and read for the part and they thought it would be real cool if it was a Brooklyn accent with the guy's got a hair lip. And he's sort of talking like fucking Donald Duck. And it's cool, and you cast him, and 3 days into the shoot, you find out he's from Brooklyn and he's got a hair lip. You hired what I call a talker. He looked right in the casting session. You thought he was creative when he thought he was creative, but he wasn't being creative. That's how he talks. And once you cast him and do the first day of the shoot, you're stuck with that person. There's no going back now, guys. That's that little key of, now could you try it this way, please? That was really good. I really like that. Now can you try it this way, please? And each one of you will come up with some sort of direction. And then you just sit back in the next 2 minutes and see if they deliver on the direction. You know they look right for the part. You're now assuming they're creative, but you want to make sure they're acting. Give them that litmus test. You have 7 to 10 minutes with each body. You have no more time than that. Moving on to the next. It's not the first timers I always see think it's a modeling show. It's a fashion parade. And you're scared to tell them anything. Last thing you ever want to hear as an actor, I've been around for a while, you know, I know how to do it, I can handle this. You already have somebody telling you what to do. Put that right in your head. That person's a problem right away. Step 1, casting actors. Get the word out. Set up your room. 7 to 10 minutes with each person. You'll visually look at them. You'll verify with their photo. Let them be creative. Then give them the litmus test. And then move on and pick the actors. But please get actors that can act. And when you do the shoot, you're totally dependent on them. And they know they have no more than 2 to 5 minutes of rehearsal per shot. And you know what? That's a nice thing about a movie. It's not like a play where they actually have to learn and memorize 90 to 120 pages in a row. In a TV show or a movie, it's just little pieces, little pieces, little pieces. We'd like them to memorize the lines, but if not, it takes them 15 minutes to memorize 5 lines. And if they look right for the part and they take direction, you should absolutely get it in 2 takes. And mostly on the first take. I'll get on the first take. With Corman, he poured in demand. First take, that's it. First take, let's go. My big concern is the camera. Is it in frame? And the sound person. I'll cast the right actors. You know how to handle the casting session now. Let's get to number 2. Directing post, or directing the edit, or directing the scene for the edit. What you're going to find out after your 1 week, 2 week, 3 week shoot, and you got your footage and hire an editor. Every editor believes they've saved every film they ever edited. If any of you have been around and talked to anybody in post-production, you know you'll hear it from them. And you know what? They really do believe that. I think that's wonderful they believe that. But they can't save the film if they didn't have the shots to save it from. So not one of them has ever saved the film. All they did is do their job. Your job as the director is to get those shots that allows the editing and post-production people to do their job and feel they saved the film. What are those shots? Those shots are called close-ups. But not close-ups of the actor acting, where we did the master shot, the medium shot, one close-up of your action shot. Close-ups that are reaction shots. They're close-ups that are reaction shots, and sometimes we call them cutaways or cat in the window shots. Cutaways or cat in the window shots. So watch. Here's how a big budget studio director directs. You've seen it all the time when you look at HBO, Showtime, Encore Stars, and they show you the making of the movie, and they show you the director directing. What have you ever seen this guy or gal do? They sit in a chair that looks like this. They put on headsets, and they look at 3 television sets. You want to call them monitors and make it exotic? And at the end, they say, okay, do it. Then they look at the TV sets for about 30 seconds. Then they take the headset off and laugh and go, good. Does anybody in this room can't do that? That's not a joke. You see, that's what they do. Now, what are they looking at? Here's what you don't know that they're looking at, which you now will know because I'll teach it to you. Those 3 TV sets are 3 monitors, have 3 cameras shooting the scene from 3 different angles. It's called the master shot and the 2 over-the-shoulder medium shots. And if you ever want to get a job and direct a feature film for Corman, Roger Corman, he will come on the set on the first day, if you're hired, take 3 minutes to give you a class in directing. And all he's going to talk to you about is, do you know how to get the master and the 2 pops? Do you know how to get the master and the 2 pops? And just like I saw most of your faces, you don't know what that is. The master and the 2 pops. He'll then say, I want you to get the master, then go to the 2 pops, then get some cutaways and get the hell out. And he doesn't say the word hell. He doesn't talk that way. Get the master and the 2 pops. What the 2 pops are the 2 medium shots. The technical type of medium shots are the 2 over-the-shoulder medium shots. So he's going to say, have your camera crew set up the shot with 3 cameras, 1 pulled back with the master of the entire scene, another one with the camera over here getting this over-the-shoulder medium shot over that actor, but key lighting, backlighting, fill lighting this actor, and another camera over there facing that angle over this shoulder. Key lighting, backlighting, fill lighting. Now that's in the real Hollywood system. When you get to your 3rd, 4th, or 5th feature film, you'll have a camera crew that has 3 cameras, that has a shooting ratio of 15:1 to 25:1. You'll be buying 120,000 to 250,000 feet of film, and you'll be doing each shot with 3 angles. That's nice information, and that's how they do it. That's not your budget, first-timers. You've rented 1 camera. 1 camera. So what you have to do is first get the master shot. Good. Now a half hour later, 25 minutes later, move the camera over here, change the lighting, and the 2 actors do the scene again 25 minutes later, and we get this over-the-shoulder medium shot. Then we take the camera and put it over there. Then 25 minutes later, we do it again over that shoulder. So it took us an hour and a half, where there's a little bit more logistics with setting up the first shot with the big guys, but they should get it done in about 30 minutes. Now, down the road in editing, with the studio feature film, the master shot and the two over-the-shoulder medium shots are the same scene, the same action, from 3 different angles. So it's going to edit together in editing and post-production very smoothly. It's the same exact body movements, but done from 3 different angles. Now, when you and I do a scene together, and we do it 3 different times over an hour and a half, I don't care how great you are. I don't care how many classes you've been in. I don't care how great I am and how many classes I be in. It's not possible for us to have it so identical each time, 30 minutes later, 30 minutes later. We're going to have a voice inflection that goes different. We'll have an eyebrow that moves different. We'll have a twitch that moves different. So now, 3 weeks down the road, you hire an editor to edit, splice those 3 shots together. They ain't going to cut together, guys. That's your film. They're not going to cut together. It's just not possible because we're humans. Now, did you get some cutaways, reaction shots to save your ass? So if I was directing this scene right now with a teacher and a student arguing, I would probably get a reaction shot of a close-up. Here's what I want you to do. Here's a close-up right now. When I say action, I just want you to go like it's such an epiphany. Can you do it? Quiet. Quiet on the set, roll sound, sound up to speed, roll camera, camera up to speed, action. A little bit more, a little bit more. Do it again. Cool. Okay, stop. Now I want you to do, I don't get it. What the hell is this, without saying the words, what's this guy talking about, huh? Huh? Yeah, it's a squint, it's a squint. Her eyes are wide open. I want you squinting a little. Okay, I do that. Then I'll do another one with you of, it's interesting, but why? Interesting, but why? I'm going to get these. These are the 3 save my ass shots. Back over here is the movie with the master shot and the 2 pops. We got that. Now, a week later, a month later, we're editing. The editor sits in the room, gets the master, lays it down, then starts cutting in this over the shoulder, this over shoulder, this over shoulder, this over shoulder. And it doesn't work. This one shot right here, there's nowhere we can cut. And we got to get out of the master because the master doesn't work, but the dialogue's working. What do? I go in the trim bin, and I can pull out any one of these 3 reactions. Now, I know to cover my ass to get a range of reactions, because I don't know where we're going to need them. These are called reaction shots, and they're all going to be close-ups. You get them. They're never going to be written in any script you ever read. Just, as soon as you go in to shoot a scene, get the master and the 2 pops. That's your basic frame. And now, get those save the post shots. The close-ups, reaction shots. Sometimes they're called cutaways. If it's a shot of a person, we'll call it a reaction shot that's a close-up. What if you're doing a scene with 2 people and there's nobody else in the master shot, no other bodies? Then how do we do reaction shots? Then we actually call them cutaways. And I'll do a close-up of inanimate objects, a close-up of the book, a close-up of that camera, a close-up of this poster, a close-up of the clock ticking. But I'll go get 5 or 7 of those little shots that take 5 to 7 seconds each. Because somewhere down the road in editing, we're going to need those shots to cut away to. So when I walk in the room, the first thing I do, besides thinking acting and performance and it's there, I look in the room to see, what am I going to cut away to? Give me 5 or 7 things and I'll get a shot list real quick. It's never going to be in the screenplay, guys. You're never going to see it. Now, the greatest trick that they do in Hollywood all the time, these directors, is actually called a cat in the window shot. I love the cat in the window shot. Every time I see the cat in the window shot, I love it. And then I go, oh, they fooled me again. What is the cat in the window shot? It's exactly that. You get a putty cat, you put it in the window, and you get a close-up of the cat doing whatever a cat does. You can't act it. It'll just stand there, and hopefully it moves a little bit. But get it for about 10 seconds. A close-up. So now, a month later, you're editing. You got the master and the 2 pops. This is your foundation. You got no other reaction shots, cutaways, but you got a cat in the window. And somewhere in our scene, there's like 2 seconds. The dialogue's okay, but the action with you and I doesn't mix. And for the 2 seconds, I'll cut to a close-up of the cat in the window. And you love it. I hope you see the orange go, It could be a guppy, could be a goldfish, Cockroaches aren't cute. There's a cat in the window. This low-budget movie that wasn't a low-budget movie, The Mexican, about 5, 7 years ago. Brad Pitt, Gandolfina, Julia Roberts was in it. Remember how many shots they cut away to the back of the pickup? There was the ugly dog with a deflated football in his mouth. Would somebody like to tell me what the heck that dog ever had to do with the story anywhere in there? Those are all the cover-ups of the screw-up shots. That was rotten direction. They didn't have good coverage, but they knew enough to get this ugly dog. Had nothing to do with the story, and why does he have a deflated American football in his mouth? I must have saw, when I saw the movie, in the first half hour, after they cut to, started doing the scenes in allegedly Mexico, there were about 4 shots of close-up of an ugly dog. I like ugly dogs. I'll tell you, the guy that's got his dog in the car outside, that's a good dog. I like that. I stared at that dog. That was an odd of me. Your dog, that shaggy-haired dog out there, that's yours. That's a darling dog. I'm sorry I can't let him in here because I got a puppy that comes in here, and they're going to start sniffing each other, and my dog's going to get territorial and start peeing in my room if I let your dog in. But I think you got a wonderful dog. It's a cute. Get a close-up of it. Keep getting close-ups of that dog. Shut up. It's not a joke. Get the shot. I'm teaching you how to cover yourself up to get those things that down the road the editor in post-production needs. They're called reaction shots. They're invariably close-ups. Now, if you have a scene that has other people but not talking in it, get close-ups of them reacting to us acting. This is not a close-up of him acting or close-up of me acting. That's a different shot. Get those reaction shots. They're close-ups. And if you have more time, get some close-ups of some cutaways. And if you don't know what to do, always get an animal and get a close-up. It doesn't matter. They have nothing to do with the story. But in the master shot, you must establish the piece of information that the audience knows there's a window in this room or this scene, and there's an animal, though I'm not looking at it. You just can't cut up with a close-up of a kitty out of the universe and throw it into a scene. So you must establish the piece of information in the master shot, Get the master, going for the 2 pops, but think about covering your rear end. Get your reaction shots, which are usually close-ups. If they're close-ups of people, we call them reaction shots. If they're close-ups of inanimate objects, we call them cutaways. And every now and then, we love to do the cat in the window shot, which could be a dog or it could be a bunny rabbit. Just going like that, but it's just darling. It's always darling. It has nothing to do with the story, and our dialogue was still going on while that shot was there, and the audience loves it. Next, the shoot. Let's direct the shoot. You've been told it's very important to direct on budget and direct on schedule. It's very important to be on schedule and be on budget. And every one of you nods and agrees, and not one of you knows how to do it. But you keep writing down in notebooks, it's important to be on schedule, and it's important to be on budget. You've probably written it down 10 times already in the last 5, 7 years. And you don't know how to do it. So I'm going to be the great teacher and now teach you how to do it. The first thing you got to understand is directing on schedule has close to nothing to do with directing on budget. They're 2 different concepts. Directing on schedule is one thing, and I don't care if you're on schedule. You got 5 pages today, you got 5 pages tomorrow, you got 5 pages the next day, you're on schedule. But while being on schedule, if you either A, wrote a couple of extra checks that you didn't budget for, or B, you let the actor do too many takes, or the director, who's insecure, too many angles, you will run out of film. And I don't care if you're on schedule, you'll never finish your film. Yes, it's very important to be on schedule. It's very important to be on budget. They're 2 different concepts. First, how do you be on schedule? It's easy. The first shot you get when you approach every scene is what's called the master shot. First, get the master. Now, in the big budget studio industry, they'll go in for the exotic close-up shots first. That's not your world yet. You're 3 to 4 features away from that world. What you will do is get the master. What's a master shot? A master shot is, here's the camera. You put on a lens that's a small number lens, usually 18 to 35 millimeter. and you pull the camera back far, so the lens goes from here to here. So let's say I'm the actor up here, you're the extras, atmosphere people, and we're doing our scene together. I don't care where you put the camera in the room. All 40 of you are 40 different people. You're going to put it in 40 different places. I don't care. That's called talent, however you want to pick it. What I care about is put a small number lens on and pull it back far. And get the master. Let's say we do it over here and we put a little camera movement in while you're talking, you are doing the scene. But while we're doing the scene, you see where the lens goes over here? See where it goes over here? Don't put your body out of that frame. So it gives you a lot of freedom of movement. It's like, yeah, okay, cool, a lot of freedom there. Let's go do a close-up now. Camera's over here. I got a 50, 75, maybe even 100 millimeter lens on it, extreme close-up. It's on you. I want you to do your scene. While you're doing the scene, stand up. Okay. That's it. We're going to do blocking now. And don't take your head out of this frame. This is not easy, guys. By the way, I put too much pressure on him as the actor, and I would not have done that as the director. But this is the tough shot because he doesn't have a lot of freedom of movement now. And that's what blocking rehearsal is about, so we learn to lead you as your body movement stands up, and it's really the camera's crew job. But don't do any quick movements. This is the tough shot, guys. The master shot, it's a piece of cake. Just bring it over here, the camera, and just tell the cast, talk, do it. That's it. But put a little movement into it. Or put the camera over there, over there, over there, over there, I don't care. First, get your master. How do you stay on schedule? First, get a master. You know, once you get a master, you know what's going to happen? It's in the can, it's shot. We shot the entire scene. It's not great art, but we got it done. We're on schedule. Oh, we have 550 feet budgeted for this scene, and we have 2 hours budgeted for this scene, and we got the master shot in a half hour on 1 or 2 takes. We're on schedule. The rest is art. So what's the pecking order in the other shots you're going to do? First, get the master. That's how you stay on schedule. First, get the master. First, get the master. You want to see the worst film in the history of the world that ever made somebody famous. It's called art. My opinion, I'm not right. It's just my opinion. Worst technical film. I'm teaching how to technically make a film. You're the artist. I can't teach talent. The worst technical film ever made in the history of the world that ever got somebody famous as a director. It's a movie, I think, Stranger Than Paradise, Stranger from Paradise. It's about 15 years ago. Jim Jarmusch or Jarmusch, he's now doing decent budget, et cetera, et cetera. Go rent the movie and take a look at it. It's about 25 master shots. He never even had the camera on a dolly. He put it on a tripod. I don't even think he panned or tilted. He just put it on a tripod, he hit the on button, and he told the movable props talk for 4 minutes. You don't agree with me? Go rent the movie. Go rent the movie. And you're going to see. And what you're going to start doing is getting a comfort zone, and you're going to start saying, you know, I think I can do this. That's what I'm trying to do as the teacher. Let you know what other people did and then got famous, but let's stop thinking about what they're doing on the next shoot because you're not there. It's what they did on the first shoot. And let's get a comfort zone and stop being scared of this, but it still comes down to talent. How do you stay on schedule? Get the master shot. Get the master shot. That guy made a movie with nothing but master shots. Then go rent Kevin Smith Clerks. And you'll see in a 90-minute movie there was only one scene for about 2 or 3 minutes that had a couple over-the-shoulder shots. And you'll see he screwed it up. He didn't try it again. And the rest of the movie was just master shots. And you go, oh, I could do that. What those guys have is that uniqueness about their personality. And Kevin Smith is amazing with dialogue and capturing, you know, what we used to call the Generation X generation, etc. But you know how to stay on schedule. Just get the master shot. Just get the master. Now, how do you stay on budget? How do you stay on budget? It's pretty easy. In pre-production, you did a budget. Now you're in the middle of the shoot. Stick to it! You don't write another check. You did a budget, now stick to it. Sounds easy. It's not easy. You're going to find out about 3 days into the shoot, all the wonderful cast and crew that love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Comes the 4th day of the shoot. They invariably, each one, it's not like a mutiny. Each one of them would like to have 2 minutes with you. Dove, can I talk to you for a moment? Dove, can I share something with? I hate sharing. I'm an adult. I'm not a wimp. Just talk to me. Get to the point. Time is valuable. I want to move on and do other things. Stop sharing. I'm an adult. When we come into this sharing dribble. Dove, can I share something with you? Here's the worst. When somebody in the crew comes up, or an actor. Dove, can I explain something about filmmaking to you? I know what the conversation's going to be. On every shoot I was on where I could write the checks, I had 20 or 30 of those conversations over a 2-3 week period. Here are the conversations. They go exactly like this. First, somebody comes up to me and says they'd like to talk to me. I know what they want, but we got to go through the dribble. Yada, 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 da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Those are the first 4 sentences. Now comes the 5th sentence. I need some more money. What are you going to do, guys? You were told stay on budget. Actor came up and gave you a solid reason. Production designer came up, gave you a solid reason. Permanent insurance person came up, gave you a solid reason why they need another check. You said you were going to stay on budget. You wrote it down in your book. So what are you going to say now? There's real life. You're sophomores in college now. You're not freshmen in film school theory anymore. You know what you're going to have to do? Is go, no! Now, I found out while being on a shoot, you can't say the word no, because whoever you say it to, it becomes like a sibling rivalry and starts an argument. So how I've learned to handle this situation that happens 2 to 5 times every day, starting around the 4th day of every shoot, is when somebody comes up to me and wants to talk to me for a moment, I go, sure, what is it? As if I don't know. They go, yada, 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 da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, and then they explain what they need a little bit more money for. And then I go, that's an excellent point. Let me see what I can get done. I'll be right back. And I just walk away. What are you going to do, write a check? I'm not going to stand there and yell and argue. I never raise, when I teach, I raise and yell and raise my voice. During a shoot, I'm real calm on the outside, not on the inside. But I'm bondable. You ever go on to shoot a feature film and need a production manager that can get you a completion bond? There are X number of people, and I will not go over budget. I will not go over schedule, because I want the insurance companies to feel real comfortable with me. I've never been on a shoot that went over budget, went over schedule. It will not happen. I will get it done. What are you going to do when you're writing checks with your own money? I bet you kick in that attitude too. I know it's not art. I know it's not talent. I wish you had more money. I wish there was a money tree you could go pick it from. I wish there was somebody you could cajole or beg. But it ain't going to happen, guys. So you got to stay on budget. So you do a budget and you stick to it. Stick to it means having those confrontations with cast and crew during the shoot, but not raising a voice, not yelling, saying, let me see what I can get done and moving on, letting that person stand there, and probably about 4 minutes later, he now thinks I'm a frickin' asshole. I don't know what I'm doing, but you know what? He doesn't quit. I've never had a crew person or an actor ever quit on any shoot that I was writing checks. I've never bounced a check. I feed the crew well, and we do 14 to 20-hour days every day. But I feed everybody well, and I never bounced a check, and I don't go over budget, and neither are you. Now that you know what you have to do. This is not going to be written in any textbook anywhere. So how do you stay on schedule? Get the master shot. How do you stay on budget? You did a budget, now stick to it. Deal with the confrontations during the shoot and say no. But if you say the word no, it's an argument. So I found that's an excellent point. Let me see what I can get done. And I just disappear. I get in my car and I drive around the block for a half an hour. But I'm not staying on the set because they expect me to write a check. Now the next thing, how do you stay on budget? What you got to understand when you're shooting a 35mm feature film, in the no budget arena, probably the most biggest check you're going to write during the shoot is to buy film. I want you to start thinking as raw film stock as your budget. Now when we get down to shooting digital and tape, we don't care about the cost of that stuff. But in the film industry, 35mm, that's going to be your biggest check in your no budget film. So you're going to be real anal about exposing film. And as soon as every shot goes and somebody says roll sound, sound up to speed, roll camera, camera up to speed, you're not going to do what we've been doing in this class now and take about a minute to check everything. Is everything fine? It's action. because you're wasting your film. Budget's going out the window. Quiet on the set, roll sound, sound at speed, roll camera, camera up to speed, action. And that's it. And about 5 minutes before, we blocked and walked through the scene. And this is a very good actor that I cast in the casting session. I feel very comfortable with you. And this scene has 4 lines in it, which you've been waiting for about 3 hours to do it. But you'll do it, and I'm pretty sure you'll do it well. And I'm going to direct it on schedule, on budget. On schedule, on budget. Schedule, get the master shot first. It gives you a sense of security. If all those other shots screw up within that scene, but you know how much time you're allocating and how many feet you're allocating, just get out. And don't ever obsess in any single shot to make it perfect. No shot saves a film. You got to get it done. Keep moving. And if you think any shot saves a film, your film stinks. Keep moving. Directing the shoot. Now let's get into directing the camera, the actual camera. Picking the shots. Probably the biggest thing you guys are scared with or scared about is what do you do with the camera? What lens? What shots? You'll get a comfort zone of telling the actors where to stand and how to say the words. Here's the pecking order of how you pick your shots. First, do the master shot. Then do the 2 medium shots. They're usually nicknamed the 2 pops or the 2 over-the-shoulder medium shots. Now, depending upon the number of takes and the time and how many feet of film you have, now you'll either think about get some cutaways or let's go in for a close-up of the action. Now, if you have more film and more time, maybe you do the cutaways now, or let's do another close-up of the action or extreme close-up of the action. But the pecking order in shot selection, where you put the camera, I don't care, but I will in a moment. First get the master shot. The phrase is first get the master, then go in for coverage. First get the master shot. It gives you a sense of security that we got it on schedule now. Now going for coverage. Coverage are those other shots that are smaller, the medium shots, the close-ups, the extreme close-ups. But don't run out of film, and before you think you run out of film, you better get those cutaway cat in the window shots. Directing on schedule, directing on budget, but here's the next. When you go and you get your master shot, then after the master shot, you go to get your medium shots. Here's what you're about to learn. Don't flop the eye line or the imaginary line, or what's sometimes called the 180-degree rule. What is that? Let's say you and I are doing a scene together. And we might say, and everybody's different, we might say there's an imaginary line through the center of action right here. Maybe we say it goes this way. So there's an imaginary line. A circle going around this imaginary line, the center point. It's 360 degrees. On this side of the imaginary line is 180 degrees. On this side of the imaginary line is 180 degrees. Your first shot is going to be a master shot. You're going to put the camera either on this side or this side. Where in the room, I don't care. But once you get your master shot, and when you get your master shot, you know where the center of action is going to be. You never, when you go in for the medium shot, close-up shots, reaction shot, point of view shots, you never put the camera on this side of the line and then have a shot being shot in that angle. Don't flop the eye line. It won't cut, because you'll find out your master shot has the guy talking and looking that way. Then you go in a half hour later to get a medium shot, and he's now talking this way. It won't cut. There's no way you can save that. Now, we flop the eye line a whole lot when we do scenes with cars chasing each other, boats, people running after each other in and out of streets. We'll flop the eye line, and for whatever reason, the audience is forgiving on that. The audience will not be forgiving on 2 people talking to each other and you flop the eye line and they're looking in wrong directions now. The shots are totally useless. So get the master shot. You know where the center of action is. Don't flop the eye line. Go in for the medium shots, the close-up shots. But before you run out of film and run out of time, get your cutaways or cat in the window shots. And the next thing is cheat a little bit. Cheating. Cheating is usually in medium shots. When 2 actors are talking to each other, let's say, sir, in front row, let's say you're the actor, I'm the actor. The camera's over my shoulder. It's got me framed from below my waist to above my head, and it's got you framed in that way too. We're key lighting, backlighting, fill lighting you, and it's over my shoulder. and we're framing me on 1/3, we're framing you on maybe the outside third, or maybe we're putting me in the middle third or whatever. But what's the audience seeing? The audience is seeing nothing except the back of my head. And then seeing you with good lighting, key, back, fill, eye lighting. So what I'll tell the actor, this is a boring shot, just seeing the back of my head, and I don't care how well I read the script, the performance doesn't come out that well in a medium shot if my dialogue's in there. So we'll tell the actor to cheat a little bit, and we usually say, look at the outside shoulder. I don't know what the outside shoulder is. But if the camera's over here, I'll tell the actor in the foreground, tilt your head a little bit. So I'm actually looking at you. What's the camera seeing now? Not my eyes, but a little bit of my profile. So there's a little bit of depth in that shot, the profile of me and a full-on of you. The audience has no idea that I'm not looking at you right now. I'm actually looking at you right now while he and I are doing our scene together. Do a fair amount of those shots in there. Your directing crash course is over. I don't know what you think you're going to learn in any expensive theory-laden film school. Get your script, cast the right actors, get your master shot, go in for schedule, know your schedule, go in for coverage, go in for the two pops, don't flop the eye line, a little bit of cheating. Next is you want to learn how to work with actors. That's very important, how to get performances out of people. And it's usually nicknamed how to learn to work with difficult actors. Well, here's the easy way to do it. Go to the local pawn shop, go buy a video camera that was $300 10 years ago at a pawn shop. That's now $39. It's VHS. Maybe it's even Betamax. It looks cool. Buy it for $30, $40. Now get a script and a 2-page scene. Maybe it's the script When Harry Met Sally. And it's a 2-page scene which has the medium shots and a cutaway in it. It's the scene where Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal are in the delicatessen, and Meg Ryan is faking her orgasm. And it's a cutaway to the mother going, I'll take some of that food. So now you take this cheap VHS camera, you go buy an hour or two of tape, which might cost you $7, and you go home and get your mom and dad to do the scene in the kitchen. You want to learn to work with difficult actors? Let's see you direct your mom in a fake orgasm. There's nothing I can teach you. Go do it. Go get your brothers and sisters who you haven't agreed on a single thing in the last 20 years to stand on a mark and say something the way you want them to say it. And shoot it with whatever angles you want to shoot it with. Never mind shooting ratio. Then you go to some offline editing place for like $5 an hour and you'll edit it together. And now you got your 2-3-minute scene. Then rent the movie When Harry Met Sally and look at their 3-minute scene from the same script. Then look at your 3-minute scene. And it doesn't mean they did it right. And compare. Never mind production value. Oh, look at the master shot. Look where they cut away to. Look at the reaction shot. Look where they did the medium shots. And you do that exercise 4 or 5 times. You're a pro. You're a pro. How do you direct? Get the script, cast the right actors, get your reaction shots, cutaways, cat in the window. So down the road, the editor will be able to save it, if necessary. While shooting, don't write an extra check, stay on budget, stay on schedule. Film is very expensive to you guys, not to the studio system. So be very anal about picking your shots, first the master, then the mediums, then the close-up. But before you run out of film for that scene that you budgeted for, get the cutaways and cat in the window. Don't flop the eye line. A little bit of cheating on medium shots, and you talk to actors nicely. And if you have the great script and you cast the right actors, I really believe it'll be great. You know how to direct. Congratulations. Now even Father, Son, Sam Shapiro, you're a director, you're a director, you're a director, you're a director, and you're a director. You're now all hyphens. You're producer hyphen directors. What we're going to get into now is, let's do the shoot, the actual shoot. You know, there's a crew you got to hire. How do you hire a crew? The next lesson we're going to get into, I'll teach you how to hire a crew. The DP, the PM, the PD, the 15 other people in the crew, what to pay them, what they're supposed to do. And then I'll tell you how to do the shoot. What are you going to write checks for permits, insurance, and all that other stuff, the little check writing that are non-glamorous. So the next lesson coming up is the shoot, lesson number 6. You now know how to direct. Come back in a little while. We'll get lesson number 6. You know how to handle a crew, get a crew, stay organized, and get it shot and in the can, on budget, on schedule. Thank you very much.